Please put your hands together for Shauna Jungdahl.
Guys, it is 13 degrees outside, and my car's heat decided to die. Woo! But yet it's overheating, and I'm just this little girl like, I don't fucking know. If it explodes, at least I'll be warm. I don't know. Troubling times. So I was going to come here and, of course, tell a story about, one of my relationships that broke up, that ended, but I'm just thinking back to all of my relationships, and I'm just like, Shauna, your streak sucks. Like, you've broken up with people because there's this guy in high school, I broke up with him, and this is going to sound like shit, and I don't agree with it right now, but I dated someone that I broke up with him because all he wanted to do after school was watch the Ellen show and go to sleep. That sounds like fucking heaven right now. What's wrong with 18-year-old me? Jesus. Fucking going through some shit back then. What am I, high maintenance? Did I like Jerry Springer better? But then it's funny because I'm actually going through a big breakup right now, and I'm like, do I want to talk about that? Is it too sensitive? But we're also both still trying to make it work because neither of us really want to go back on Tinder, so we're like, please, let's just make this shit work. This is unhealthy, but I don't want to swipe anymore. My thumb's broken. I have no storage on my phone. So I was thinking about something that I could talk about, and of course the theme of breakups, right away we're always thinking about, boyfriends and girlfriends that we've ended our relationships with, but I would also want to make an argument that those breakups of romantic relationships suck, and they're painful, and they're hurtful, and they're impactful. But I want to make an argument that when you're breaking up and losing just a pure friendship, that is just as, if not worse, than losing a romantic partner. This happened to me, and I'm sure it has happened to many of us in this room. It happened to me back with a friend that I had in high school. She was my best friend. And when I say best friend, this was one of those people that just accepted you for who you were no matter what. Embraced your weirdness, embraced your character without a second thought, and not only embraced it, but reciprocated it. This was a friend I had who I would go over to her house for lunch every day, and one day, Shauna had a little accident down there during that special time of the month. Got it everywhere, and she looked at me and said, "Let me get you a new pair of jeans." Thanks, Jamie. Bled through that shit, too. Girl's got a heavy flow. She still stayed with me. So she was my best friend. We did everything together. And then, of course, after high school, we graduate and we go on to college. My first 2 years after high school, we lived in Illinois, so community college was a regular occurrence. And so I stayed back in our local regional area, and I went to community college while she went away and went to the local 4-year, or not necessarily local, about an hour away, 4-year university. It was really heartbreaking to me, but it was that sentimental, oh, you're leaving. This is going to be a new bond for us to share, new chapter in our friendship lives. And I even remember telling her one night while I was weeping on my dad's back porch, I said, "Jamie, when the moon rises in the sky every night, will you promise to look up at it and we'll do it together? And so we'll both be looking at the moon together, and so that'll be our friendship thing every day, so we don't lose touch." I don't remember her responding to that text, but I believe that she did do that. So for the next 2 years, I continued on to community college. She did her 4-year thing. I would go up and visit her. She would come back home, and we would hang out here. Things were going pretty great. Then once my 2-year tenure stood up at the community college and I needed to make my transfer to a 4-year to complete my bachelor's degree, I mean, my choices were pretty out there. I could go really anywhere. Not anywhere. I'm not Harvard material. Princeton. And so Jamie called me and said, hey, I know it's about time that you're going to be applying to different universities and stuff. Why don't you come over to Bleep University and live with me and a mutual friend that we both had from high school. That other friend and her were actually best friends. Jamie and I were best friends, but they were also very close friends. And I had known the other girl from high school as well. Come live with us. We need a third roommate, and you can just go to college there. Works out perfect. So of course I get into this, like I would love to live with my best friend and this awesome other girl. And so February of that year, I do everything. We go and sign this lease. And everything starts off perfect, seemingly. Now something that I hadn't been aware of is that my friend Jamie and then the other roommate and the roommate's boyfriend had gotten into a car accident around the same time before, but around the same time we had signed the lease. The girlfriend, the friend's boyfriend was driving, got into an accident, totaled the car, and Jamie got hurt. Wasn't a huge injury, wasn't anything totally physical. She was totally fine. She walked away, she went to the emergency room, everything was fine, but Jamie got hurt. Whole situation happened after that where there was a lot of hostility between Jamie and the roommate. We're just gonna call the roommate Henrietta. I don't fucking know, that's a name. Just need to give her a name. So between Jamie and Henrietta, there started to be a little bit of hostility that I wasn't aware of. So that whole summer, while no school was in session, but we're preparing to move into this apartment, all of this conflict and tension started to begin brewing between them without me knowing. So August rolls around, we start moving everything in. I'm super freaking pumped. It's gonna be sleepovers every day for 2 more years with my best friends. But then I'm moving in and everything is kind of like walking on eggshells. Like with Jamie, she's kind of distant and it's very strange. And with Henrietta, like I don't know her that well, but she's very friendly and her and I are starting to become more friendly with each other during the first few weeks of being in school and in the apartment together. So the first month passes by and things are a little weird. Then Jamie finally confides in me that her and Henrietta have been having a lot of tension, a lot of conflict, because she doesn't feel that Henrietta and her boyfriend have treated her very well since that accident, and she's very upset with this, and she cannot believe that they've been through that traumatic event and they aren't sympathizing with her and making sure she's okay, making sure there's like any apologies that they can give to her, just being very, making sure that she is knowing that Jamie is a victim. Oh, it wasn't that traumatic of an event. They were all involved in it. Why, Jamie, are you making this into such a humongous thing that happened like 7 months ago? Everybody is over it. But it was on her mind and she couldn't get over it. Another month passes by and Jamie just starts picking fights with Henrietta. Jamie just starts getting nitpicky with everything. She starts slamming doors a little bit every now and then, starts calling her mother on the phone and starts screaming at her about things that Henrietta's doing. And things just start getting a little bit more aggressive and hostile. And I've never experienced this side of Jamie, so this was very confusing to me. She's always been very helpful, very nice and pleasant. Another month goes by and she's just blowing up. All the time, screaming at Henrietta. Henrietta doesn't know what the hell to do. She's just a victim. Oh, I thought there was music. She's just, I'm like, it's angry music now. The horror movie is beginning. Henrietta's freaking out because she's like, I don't know what to do. She's freaking out on me so much, and it's beginning to cause me trauma and beginning to make me very worried for like my safety, because Jamie, again, is just running around slamming doors, throwing things, being very aggressive, screaming at Henrietta. Finally, Jamie says one day, I'm moving out of this apartment. I can't be in here. It is awful living with both of you. I haven't done anything. Like, why are you leaving this environment when you have a problem with Henrietta, but why am I becoming a victim of this too? And one day I get home from class to this lengthy text message from Jamie that says, Shauna, I understand that you and I have been friends for a long time, but the fact that
That's it. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a way to get someone off the stage. Jesus. Ruined my pants again tonight, too. So she's sending me this text message saying, Shauna, if you continue to live with Henrietta, we can no longer be friends because I am not going to support you being with her anymore. I don't know. I came to this university because of you. I signed this lease because of you. Now you're putting me in this situation that I wasn't even a part of. I'm not going to get into all of those little details where I can just keep on ranting about how much of a bullshit situation this is. But she ends up coming with two of her little support group members while me and Henrietta are sitting on the couch watching Cupcake Wars one evening to collect her belongings, not speak a word to us to try and resolve it, and leave. You've never been silently broken up with a friend while you're sitting on the couch watching Cupcake Wars. If you haven't, give it a shot. You'll fucking find out. You love Cupcake Wars. To make a long story short, after that, I saw her around campus and made eye contact with her once, and then looked immediately down at her shoes and thought they were fucking ugly as shit. And then one time we did make contact to try and get back in touch with each other and resolve things, try to sort this shit out, because to this day, right now, this was 4 years ago, right now, she is still one of my best friends in the entire world, and I have not spoken to her. She is still one of my best friends in the entire world. But we reached out to each other and we tried to sit down and resolve it. But it was one of those, and I'm sure you can all relate to it, it was one of those texts where it's like, hey, haven't spoken to you in a while, would you like to get together and go to like Pizza Hut or something and talk about this? You're like, yeah, sure, I guess that sounds good. I'd love to see you again. And then nothing else kind of happens. You actually don't meet. No other communication happens because it's like, sure, you'd like to see each other, but it hurts too much, and you know nothing good is going to come out of it, and everything is kind of at peace now. Because you know why? There's always going to be Facebook stalking. Thank you.
Thank you, Shauna.